Well, it's been a few weeks since we posted our last video. That's because it's just been so dry. And most of our time has just been actually watering. We've had about 3 weeks with no rain. We had a bit of rain this week, so that's good. But at the moment, we're getting to the beginning of August, and we're going on holiday soon. So today I'm looking at actually just getting this plot ready for a break so that we can actually get away and everything will stay watered and everything will be in good condition. I'm going to give the whole plot a good watering just before we go away. But here in the green, in the polytunnel, still getting plenty of tomatoes coming along. And then we've started now to actually sort of take off any new growth on the top of these tomatoes, just so it can concentrate its energies into actually maturing and ripening up the tomatoes that are there. But we've had lots and lots of tomatoes. Down here, quite excitingly, is we've got some melons growing. Still no luck on the loofahs. We'll have to give that a go next year. It's a bit late now for it to actually develop any loofahs. They just don't seem to be, the fruits just don't seem to be maturing. But yeah, a couple of melons in there, that's pretty good. So look forward to having those. And we're pretty well stocked on the pepper side of things as well. We've got these lovely, these are afterglow peppers that go yellow, and we've got plenty of other peppers and everything else going along. So luckily the rain that we had recently meant that I could actually refill the IBC tank from the barrels. But I'll take you over to the greenhouse where I've just been prepping that for the holiday. So over here in the greenhouse, we've had this barrel in this pump in here for quite a while, but we haven't actually rigged it up to anything. So I spent this morning just rigging up that to little drippers into each one of these trays, each one of these pepper trays. So that'll carry on with the watering as we go along. Now we have found that this is actually, there's some trays that are down low on the floor, so we've put in one of these little valves here. Now this is like a one-way valve, which means that when the water pumps, the water can't come out, but when the boiler stops pumping, it can suck air in. And that's there just to stop the actual, there's a risk that with the pump coming through and the trays down the bottom being lower than the water level, is that you might get a siphon effect. So it's a bit of an anti-siphon device, so we just put that in line there, just to actually stop the siphoning going on. And over here we have all our broccoli and cauliflower that we planted the other week, and they're all coming on, but they'll stay in here now while we're away being watered, and then we'll get them planted on when we get back. But a quick summary around the plot. Some of these potato buckets down here, these are single seed potato ones, which are still doing fine. And some of these potatoes are here that got frosted off. I've actually started to put on new growth. So the ones that are put on new growth, we're actually going to leave in, because this is about the sort of time that you'd be planting like potatoes for Christmas. And I think what's actually happened here is the potatoes that are in there didn't develop that well, and there's only really small potatoes, and those small potatoes are now starting to shoot. So it's almost like, because it wasn't a very successful potato harvest from these buckets, I'm thinking that we may actually get a later crop of potatoes, because the potatoes that are grown this time are actually growing again. So the ones that were in there we would have harvested are actually now starting to grow. So hopefully we'll get a bit of stuff there. All the flowers are looking very nice. Sweet peas now, we are just leaving these now to dry out, and then we'll harvest the seeds from those. And then there's a couple of beds. This is our ongoing brassica bed that went in a little bit later. This is all good. And this one is got a couple of cabbages still left in it, but it's got the old broccoli plants in there. And that is kind of one we're going to be clearing out to actually put the other ones in. And then down here is all our kale, which is all looking very nice. Now we did put some carrots down in this bed, and some of them are grown and some of them not. So it's a bit sporadic growth actually. Some of them are, we did mix the varieties together. So I'm thinking that actually some of the earlier varieties have come up and some of the other ones are only just starting to come up. But we've still got plenty of carrots coming on. So that was the successes. Now let's look at a few of the failures. Well, it's not really a failure. This is our lettuce bed, and it's just been far too warm for them. They've either started to bolt or they've wilted and gone over. It's really, I mean, we could have picked them when we wanted, but we had plenty of lettuce anyway, so we'll be clearing that out this week before we go away and getting that soil all prepped so that when we get back we can start sowing some of the sort of autumn greens, like some of the spinaches and some of the Chinese leaves and stuff like that, some of the pak choi again, when it's a bit cooler. But yeah, a few lettuces gone to waste, but hey. Now, while I'm here, I just mention this, the composters. Now, I think this is a miracle of composting. So this one is down to this level now. We filled this up about, well, while we've been clearing out different crops, we've filled this up multiple dozens of times. You fill it up, come back a few days later, it's gone down. It's all composting down lovely in there. So it's like the bin that never fills up. Down here you can actually see that where we've, it's been really, really wet. We had a really wet day on Thursday. The little mushrooms have started coming up from the wood chip. But before that, we didn't actually have any at all rain, so for 3 weeks. And because of that, despite how much you water, these lettuce here have all shot up and gone to seed, so they'll be coming out. Luckily, over here, we have some other little lettuce that aren't quite so bad, so we can still carry on harvesting those and still be eating those. In the fruit cage, there's a few odd bits of fruit still around. We're still waiting for the grapes to swell up a bit, but I'm not sure if they will. Over here, still got loads of lovely French beans. Have that in a minute. And the apple tree is looking really nice. So all these beds we're going to give them really good water before we go away, and everything else that we want for the winter we're going to put in when we get back. So into the brassica cage, loads of carrots here. Again, they'll all be good in the ground for the time being, and we'll harvest those out, and we plant a few more rows of carrots down here. As for the rest of the stuff in here, some of it's got a bit old and leggy now. Look at the white fly on that. Whoa! And it's all gotten a bit eaten now. It's gone over, so we need to get all that out and think about what we're going to put in there. So we may put some of the new broccoli and cauliflower plants in there. Let's go and have a look in the cucumber. Over in the cucumbers, this is a disaster zone, really. A lot of these cucumbers now are all gone over. As I say, we had this problem where we think we had a bit of mosaic virus and it sort of spread around, so we'll be taking all these out, probably ditching the cucumbers that are left on there because they're probably not going to taste very nice, or we might use them for, they're not too bad, we might use them for like a dill pickle or something like that, or piccalilli type sort of a setup. But yeah, they've slowly sort of died off, and I'm not sure it's mosaic virus or it's just a combination of the weather we've been having. It's been really, really hot for them, and they've just not liked it this year. But having said that, we did get dozens and dozens of cucumbers off them before they actually started to basically they started to go over. So we've got more than enough cucumbers. I've also got cucumbers at home in the fridge, so it's not a big deal, not a big deal. But those cucumber plants had it for this year, and this apple tree, look at this. Let's take that one off. Look at those. Beautiful. Now we should have thinned this out a bit more because there's loads of groups of apples. We weren't sure whether they were all going to mature, but they all seem to be really good. But beautiful apple. Have that in a minute. One thing that's done really well this year is the courgettes. They never seem to care whether it's wet or cold or anything else. And you really have to watch them because you leave a courgette on that's this big and you come back and it's like a marrow. Yeah, I had plenty of courgettes, although they're not always my favourite, but I normally just roast them off with a bit of chili flakes or something like that, and they're quite nice. But I can't say they're my favourite vegetable, but they do come in abundance. So the one thing that we do want to harvest today is the grapes. And these are the grapes that are in the polytunnel. And look at this. Lovely selection of grapes. So let's get those off. So there we have it, our first ever bunch of grapes from the allotment. Now the grapes that are in the polytunnel, this all, not in the polytunnel, in the fruit cage, are still really small, and I'm never sure if they're actually going to ripen up or we've taken them off to actually get them to ripen up. But the ones that are in here, look at that, absolutely brilliant. Can't believe we've got grapes. So that's where we are on the plot at the moment. As I say, these are the two beds that we had down here. Again, this one's not too bad. This is like grow, sort of pick and come again, loose leaf lettuces. These other ones that were in here are either dried out or they've just gone to seed where it's been so hot. But that's where we are on the plot for the beginning of August. It's a sort of transition time at the moment, so a lot of old crops coming out and stuff, and then we'll be putting in some new crops. But as I say, we're going to be away on holiday for a little while, so we're going to have to trust that the irrigation systems all work as they should, and if we don't get any rain on the rest of the plot, it's not a big deal, because pretty much most of the other crops that are there are all going to be coming out. The beetroot and everything else is all going to be coming out, and then we'll be thinking about autumn sowing, planting up some, as I say, some Chinese sort of cabbage stuff, and some we'll put some other loose leaves in, and hopefully we'll be continuing to harvest the tomatoes, which have done really well this year. So that's a quick update from me. As I say, mostly been doing watering the last 3 weeks, so that's why we've not been posting a video, but we'll do a video when we get back from holiday and have a look, see how the plot has actually coped with the weather over the holiday, because it does look, I'm looking at the forecast, it does look like it is going to be another one of those hot, dry weeks, or 10 days or so. So the plot's not going to get much of care and love and attention, so it'll be interesting to see after 10 days not actually being down here and doing anything, what it's looking like. So we will catch you again next time when we're checking up on the plot after the break.